So I touched up with a file a little bit just to pull some of the major burrs off, but I didn't clean it up really well because I'm going to go ahead and surface this, recut this offset, and then redo this all again. But I'm at least on the right track. This would probably actually work okay for a little while. The teeth are a little bit loose, so I wouldn't really want to use that too much because the loose rattling around in here could damage the knee, and eventually these would probably end up breaking off anyway since they're a bit too small. But what I'm doing will work. I think I've got all the geometry right. I've got the setup is right. My cut measurements were off, and that has to do with this measurement right here. Me doing it to 1/4 of an inch when it should have only been around 170 thou. So I should be able to use this 1/8 inch end mill and only move over 50 thou, take all my cuts, and then 50 thou, and then take all the other cuts. So I had the right idea, I just had the wrong measurements. So I'm going to go ahead and chuck this back up in the lathe and surface these guys off. And I'll meet you back over here. Alright, so I hit the edges here with the file, chucked it back up in the lathe, kind of went over the whole thing with some sandpaper, cleaned up the burrs pretty well. These edges are still a little bit sharp, but see how it fits. It goes on, it's a little bit snug, but it'll go all the way on. It'll give it a little bit of room to wear in. Stay nice and tight. I think I like it. I was over here cutting away, completely forgot to turn on the camera. Luckily it was fairly mundane stuff. You know, just turning these diameters down. This is 1 inch, this is 1/2 inch. I did remember before I got to the new part, it's something I've never actually done before. And that's cutting taper. I'm doing tapers using the cross slide here. So what I've done is I've rotated this, so this is actually going to be able to go at a 45-degree angle. And I've still oriented the tool so it's going straight in. And this will actually help me to get these angles here, and it'll just kind of take off some of the material, make it so it's not quite as heavy. Alright, so well, let's see how I can do. Like I said, I've never done this before. If nothing else, it's relatively easy, at least so far. I'm not really trying to hit any specific dimensions or anything, so. There, basically they're shooting to do that. That might have been a little too much. Yeah. Cut going both ways. Actually going in, I think it makes a little nicer cut. I think the tool geometry is probably a little better off going that way. Alright, I think I'm going to call that cut. I'm going to go ahead and file these down, take off some of these sharper edges, maybe hit it with some sandpaper, clean it up a little bit, then take it over the bench. Here's the new part I just made. Drill that I'm expecting to use, hopefully. Chucks in like that. And this guy out of the way. And lift all of the stuff on the table here. Chuck is that bad? In there weird. Just a ½ inch. And what I may need to do, I think this is quite long enough, so that I either need to make this a little bit narrower because the jaws of the chuck here are only gripping the very back of this guy because this thing's all the way in. That's why it ended up crooked like that. And I think the battery's about dead too. Over, put a new battery in. I was able to crank the table all the way down, all the way up, and then the battery was dead. So cordless drill isn't really the way to go for this. I went ahead, I got an old Craftsman, it's got a 3/8 inch chuck on it, just barely big enough to fit this. I brought it over, it was a little better, it at least cranked a lot faster, so I was able to go all the way down like in seconds. Didn't have quite enough power to lift, and it would start to spin the chuck on here. So I'd really need an electric drill with at least a 1/2 inch chuck and some pretty decent power in order to be able to use this. Still a fun project. Unfortunately, for the time being, I'm stuck with this. Too much fun. Well, now that you've seen how that went, or didn't, you know, I had fun making it anyway. It had some interesting things. You know, I hadn't actually cut these tapers like this yet. You know, making all the sizes, setting this up and doing this, even though technically I redid it 3 times. It was still a lot of fun. You know, just trying to figure out exactly what all of these dimensions are and how that all works out. Here you can see some scribbling that I did on here. I'd taken the actual crank. There was enough grease and schmoo on it to leave an imprint on there, and I used that to draw that out. And then I kind of traced what I thought the tool path should be. And right at first I thought, hey, I got it, this is pretty easy. And I went through, you saw that, didn't work. Went through, tried again, thought I had it figured out second time, and actually I probably did. What ended up happening on the second run was that I went around too many times. So once I got all the way around, I started cutting them all in half. So now I don't remember if I had video of that or not, but I think the second failure I may not have any video of. Third time though, everything worked out. I started off, there's one cut, I don't know if you can see it right here, but I ended up just a little bit off, and I realized, oh crap, fixed it. All the rest of it came out perfect. It's just enough I could actually probably round it off with a file, and it would look just fine. Nobody would ever know. Otherwise, you know, I got all the geometry right, I got the depth right, it all fit. It fit in the chuck. Of course, at the end of the day, all the drills I have are not powerful enough. The cordless drills, it's right at the edge of my DeWalt's power to go up. Cranking that table up is it's pretty heavy, pretty hefty. Was not working. It would crank it up, but by the time it got all the way to the top, battery would be dead. Which may have something to do with my batteries being probably 10 plus years old. Probably time to get new batteries. Alright, but that's it.